Hi, I'm Dr. Umar Khan, and I am an internal medicine physician. So I think I can relate to this question. Tell me about why do you want to join internal medicine? So the person who is interviewing you and asks you questions about this has two things in mind. They're looking for if you have a sincere dedication to such a field and whether you are a candidate that is fit for their program. And you've probably been thinking a lot about this topic, and you may have even written it in your personal statement about why you want to study in this field or progress in internal medicine. But that doesn't always mean that you're ready to say what you think in an interview in a clear way. Some people find the answer very easy to say. Others who are just as passionate about what they do, they have trouble actually putting this into words. And yes, your personal statement should have already been read by the interviewer. But now you have to bring your application to life in this interview. Tell me about yourself and why you would be a good fit for both the specialty and the program. So this answer could, in a way explain this. And remember that each interviewer talks to a lot of talented applications on the day of these interviews. So you should be, prepared with this answer. It is important to be able to talk about what drives you and what you're passionate about in a way that does stand out a little bit. This is a very important question, and it's even more important if your background isn't a perfect match for the specialty, for the internal medicine specialty that you are basically interviewing for. Maybe you're used to be interested in a different field, but since then you have changed your mind. Maybe it took you a while to figure out what you actually really want to do. In all situations, you should be able to talk eloquently and passionately about what you want to do. So they want people who want to be there and will be driven to do well and go above and beyond during this residency, along with, of course, learning. Most of the time, it is hard to explain why you choose the field that you did, because this is such a common question, an important question. I really do think that you should take a few minutes to write down a few bullet points. You might also find it easy to find the right words to describe how you feel if you actually put it down on paper, or at least type it out. But don't leave this answer up to chance because you don't want to fumble on this and hope that you are brilliant on the spot during that interview. Don't go for that. Many should at least outline your bullet points instead of writing a script if you don't want to. But most people, I surely recommend that you do script 10 to 15 answers to your most common questions. Sometimes knowing exactly what to say gives you the confidence that you need when you are being interviewed. Of course, the goal is to look natural, but you have to be well put together. So every time it will come out a little different, but you will always get the main points across. That is going to be important. Now, to give you a sample response. Well, when you think of a doctor, it is very likely that the picture you conjure in your mind is that of an internal medicine physician or an internist. And there is an inherent satisfaction in knowing that you're able to manage most of anything that walks through a door to a certain extent. And you generally feel that you are a true doctor and know a little about almost about everything. I also know that I have a choice from the many specialization options available down the line. Moreover, internal medicine lets me choose if I want to eventually get into solely outpatient medicine or go towards the hospitalist route. And I also know that as an internal medicine physician, you could be in a teaching position while you are teaching residents as well as medical students. So that also does entice me to get into internal medicine. Now, this is one portion of the answer. The second portion of the answer could be something personal that you have experienced. You necessarily don't need to have something personal to talk about, but generally, you could mention that, of course, people throughout their lives have had exposures to the medical field, and internal medicine is one of those fields that you may have had exposure to. For myself, let's say personally speaking, I was admitted to the hospital with hepatitis A. I had a bad case of hepatitis A where I was in the hospital for at least a couple of days. And of course, I was exposed to the medical system at that point. And then my parents, of course, they had the medical issues, as well as my grandparents. I had to go through the whole cycle of my grandparents eventually passing away. So I did have a bit of exposure to internal medicine. And anybody can actually come up with a couple of examples just to show that, yes, you do know what this entails. And of course, you have gone through med school. And going through med school actually inspired you to become this medicine man type of physician. So I think if you play to your strengths, be natural, be honest, don't make things up, I think this question could be a question that you could shine on. You can at least convey the positives of this specialty or any other specialty so that you are able to impress upon the interviewer that yes, you are committed to this program and you are dedicated in learning more and progressing in this field. Hopefully, this answers this question. Thank you so much.